Scotland is more than kilts, football, and bagpipes. Scotland is a magical place where you will find everything from fairy pools to stone circles. With bustling cities and rolling countryside, it is a country with something for everyone. Hey y'all, it's Olivia. Welcome back to another video in my Study Abroad Tips and Tricks series. Are you thinking about studying abroad? I hope you are, because it's the best decision you'll ever make. And I hope these videos help you a little bit in transitioning, figuring out where you want to go, how to get there, and all the bits in between. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I spent a semester studying abroad in Scotland in the spring of 2019. It was so amazing. I studied at the University of Stirling, which is a sweet little town in between Edinburgh and Glasgow. Also, if you look at any of my study abroad videos in my Study Abroad Scotland playlist, the way I say Edinburgh hurts me now. So let's just all moment of silence for that. Anyways, it was the best time ever. That is why I'm so passionate about making these study abroad tips and tricks videos, because there's so much information out there that it can be really overwhelming and also hard to know how to study abroad and where you want to go and what to expect. So if you're thinking about going to Scotland or just in general the UK, this video is for you. These are the 7 reasons why you should study abroad in Scotland. Okay, so the first thing are the people. I just always found myself every time I was going to get the train or something, I mean every single time, I'm not kidding you, like I didn't even make playlists for the train because I was gonna be making a friend, I just knew it. The humor and the slang and everything combined is just They're also really welcoming to their Scottish traditions. For example, I got invited to a céilí, which is a traditional Scottish dance, and they taught me how to dance and it was so much fun. And I also had a proper vegetarian haggis at Burns night, and I really appreciated them welcoming you into their traditions, their culture, and it was just a grand old time. 2, the accent. Now, if you watched my video about the 15 things you need to know before you study abroad, you'll see that I had a little bit of a hard time at first with the accent. And let me just tell you, like when I was in London, for example, someone told me to speak English. Okay, we all have our own little twangs and everything, so there's nothing wrong with that, but it is just something you have to get used to. And actually, I really love the accent. It's so charming, and I loved hearing it every day and got really used to it and honestly miss it. Oh, you know, like for instance, I really miss like the lady's voice on the train. She'd be like, Edinburgh Waverley. Did I do that right? Hold on. Edinburgh Waverley. Okay, I really can't fake a Scottish accent, but like that's my closest try. When you have haggis, you have like haggis, neeps, and toddies, which is like haggis, parsnips, and mashed potatoes. I loved that. Oh, cows, like the Highland cows or Highland coos. I'm really not doing a good job of representing the accent, but please do Google it, look up another YouTube channel. So the accent is kind of different from city to city. For example, Edinburgh and Glasgow have a little bit of a different sound. When I went out to Lewis and Harris, a lot of their signs had primarily English, but also underneath was Gaelic. If you watch my videos when I was in Lewis and Harris, I filmed some of the signs. It's a language that's not super widely spoken anymore, but that is the founding language of Scotland, and I believe it originated in Ireland, so it's just kind of a cool bit of history. Okay, 3 are the animals. Number 1, Scotland has the most well-behaved dogs I've ever seen in my life. Like, kind of a secret about me is I'm kind of afraid of dogs. Like, not really afraid, but I get really like anxious around them. So I was like, y'all are doing something right over here. But also, you know, I talked about the Highland coos. They have long-haired cows and they're just so adorable. I don't know what it does. There's cows here basically, but something about the Highland coos, they were just extra adorable. And then there's like sheep everywhere and they just get in the middle of the street and you can't really get around. Like, this is not in the big cities. I'm talking more about like Highlands, maybe the countryside, but it's just really charming and different for me because I'm used to just seeing like squirrels everywhere. Okay, 4 is the weather. Okay, I promise. Everyone talks about it raining so much in Scotland, and sure, it's great a lot of the time, but the rain, like, it really did not rain all that much. Maybe I just got lucky, maybe the season I went, but I mean, do not get me wrong, the weather can be really harsh and fierce at times with the winter, but then again, maybe not to you, because I was just like not used to that level of cold. I enjoyed the weather. I felt like I was in like a movie all the time, some like really moody, like gray, like dramatic scene. Like when I was walking to class, like you can really get into it, you know, with like the setting. You're just like a castle in the distance, a lock, and then it's like gray, and like it gives you a new attitude and identity. Okay, 5, the history. Now, of course, this is something everyone talks about in Scotland. Scotland is rich with history. I mean, everywhere is, but like Scotland, they maintain that. They talk about it all the time. It is important to them, and it should be important to you because it's everywhere you go. I mean, whether it be the gravestones dating back to the 16th century and just the old Gothic architecture, which is just dreamy. Everywhere you go, you feel like you're in a Harry Potter book. You know what I mean? And it's a good feeling. But no joke though, there are castles everywhere. You've got like the Stirling Castle, the Edinburgh Castle, let me get my list. I don't know how to say this. Donan Castle. For instance, when I'd be sitting and studying in the library, I could look out over the loch and there was a castle on my campus that I could see. And it's super surreal if you get to ever go inside of them. I highly recommend the Stirling Castle. It's dear to my heart. And I found that tour was just incredible. They did not, you know, cut corners. You learned everything, but it was really digestible and actually really entertaining. 6, the landscapes. Scotland has mountains, which they a lot of times refer to as hills, but like to me that's a mountain, yo. Scotland has beaches. Scotland has cities. Anything you can think of, they have all of the landscapes and they're all equally gorgeous. You will leave Scotland with a very perky butt, okay? Because you're gonna be walking all the time. And number 7, the lifestyle in Scotland is really great. Again, after everything I said, take that into consideration. But then also their cafe culture is great. They have so many wonderful places to study, especially in Edinburgh. They've got really like hipster, trendy cafes and all that kind of stuff with like lavender lattes. But then they also have really sweet like hole in the wall. If you're young, if you're a student, there's a great nightlife and just all kinds of activities to do all the time. So you'll never get bored. All right, guys, that's it for my 7 reasons to study abroad in Scotland. I hope I've convinced you, but if I haven't, make sure to check out my study abroad series in Scotland to see what it was like for my daily life as a student, as well as traveling around Scotland and nearby countries. I will see you guys in the next one.